This is a special edition of Late Night Health. I'm Mark Allen. You know, with all the strange weather that we have been having, not only in this country, but around the world, tornadoes and hurricanes, huge rains here in Southern California, what happens when your power goes out? And especially if you need electricity to run some health products, such as heart monitors, blood pressure machines, and more. Our guest is Matt Blashaw. Matt is an HGTV do-it-yourself kind of a guy. And Matt, we're going to talk about resilience and providing power for homes during severe weather. How are you today?
I'm excellent. Thanks for having me, Mark.
Let's talk about what happens when power goes out, first of all, and then we'll come up with that solution that you have. It can be catastrophic.
Yeah, it can. And I was a firsthand experience. So I'm from California originally. And, we've had rolling blackouts. We had, from power outages. And then I moved to Kansas. And I got to tell you, about a year ago, I had a EF0 tornado that came through about 3 blocks from our neighborhood, and it knocked out all of the power. And I have been building homes and been a contractor for years, 25 years. I felt helpless. I didn't know what to do. I could not fix the power. And I just said, why wasn't something in place for us? And that's why it was time to take some action. I needed to put an emergency plan in place. I needed a secondary source of power, like a generator. It just made us ready, and it gave my family a peace of mind.
Can a generator run a house? I mean, so you can have communication for one thing with cell phones, but so you can watch news on the internet at the very least, and of course have power if you need any health-related equipment and gear.
Yeah. And so here's kind of the misnomer here, right? A generator is not going to get you back to life as normal. I mean, sure, you can do that. It would probably be so expensive to run a couple of generators to get your house, every piece of your house running. It is there to give you those necessities that you need to get through until the power comes back on, right? Like you said, freezer, refrigerator, medical devices, which a lot of people don't think about, alarms, smoke detectors, right? These are things that you don't think about. So what you call a licensed electrician, that's another question I get asked all the time. Who do you call? Licensed electrician. They're going to be the ones to be able to hook it up and ask them a recommendation. What should I get? What kind of brand should I get? And then I recommend a propane powered generator. They're reliable. They're versatile. And the licensed electrician, what he'll do is he'll put a transfer switch in there. And this is the beautiful part about it, is that you don't have to go outside and start up a gas and, in the severe weather. It automatically senses that the power is out. It transfers the power need over to the generator, and then it's hooked up to those specifics, maybe like the refrigerator, the freezer, maybe a couple outlets in your house. If you don't have a big enough generator to maybe do the furnace, that's why propane is fantastic, because then you can have a propane powered fireplace, and that propane powered fireplace is going to be able to be your heat source. So the propane, you want to talk to your propane service provider. They'll be able to put that proper tank at your house to be able to service what you need. And then also another great benefit, it's clean burning. And diesel and gas generators, the diesel and gas have a shelf life, right? You can't just, take that, gasoline can of 2 years and expect that to be, to work.
Right.
It's actually going to be horrible for that engine. So you got to have to clean that out or get it pumped. The propane has an extremely long shelf life. And so you have that source, that energy that is reliable right there when you need it. No need to go out and get it in the time.
And we should point out that propane is clean. It's cleaner than gasoline.
Yes, a lot. I mean, it burns clean. It burns more efficiently than diesel and gas, and that's why I love it. And it does. It doesn't just do your generators. All right, you can power your house, so your clothes dryer, water heater, cooktop, the fireplace that we talked about, and they burn 5 to 6 times, hotter. They have more capacity than electric fireplaces. They're more reliable. And so, that's why I love it. Not only the energy independence, but also the clean burning, which is going to be better for the environment.
What about the expense of a propane-powered generator? You mentioned that they may be less expensive than a gasoline-powered generator.
Well, they're all, relatively, it just depends on the brand, right? They're all relatively kind of the same. There's going to be an investment, Mark. I mean, and that's it. You're going to be spending some money, but I can tell you a couple things. One, there is no price that you can put on a peace of mind. And those 3 days that I was down with no power was the worst. All right. I didn't know what my family was going to do. We lost tons of money from all the food going bad in our refrigerator. We had to go stay at a hotel, which is another expense. But also when you sell your house, the resale value, buyers love to see a generator. In this day and age of incredible storms and just unparalleled winds, they love to know that house is protected when they need it. So a generator is going to, in my opinion, bring back that value twofold.
So it adds to the value of the resale of the house. That's incredible. Mm-hmm. The Propane Education and Research Council has done research on this, and I know that we just mentioned that it's clean burning. Propane, I think most people think of propane for their barbecues. You can go to a gas station and buy a tank or return an empty tank and get a full tank and you can barbecue. But now that we're going into the colder winter months, people aren't going to be barbecuing as much unless you're a nut like me.
Well, I like to get out there in the cold too, right? Wait, a man's got to do what a man's got to do when he needs some barbecue, right?
Absolutely.
So, we got to think about, we think about it in little small tanks, right? Those little small tiny propane tanks. And, I build in Kansas City. We build off the grid. These are huge tanks that we put in these houses. Some of these tanks can supply energy to a house for a year. So, and what I love is that in the fluctuating, gas prices just went up, right? So if you were to buy that propane at a certain price 6 months ago, you don't have to worry about fluctuating prices. You're not at the whim of the prices that are up and down on a weekly basis. So, there you go. It's that energy independence, clean burning. And I tell you, if you get one of those 500, gallon tanks, Mark, you can barbecue your heart out for the entire winter.
And I've just passed a gas station the other day here in Southern California in Los Angeles, over $6 a gallon for regular gasoline. And to fill a generator with that is crazy expensive.
It is, right? And if, and you can get dual sources too. So if you wanted to get like a gas and a propane, there's dual source generators. But, again, it has a shelf life. So that propane, that doesn't have a shelf life. You have it, and you don't have to worry about any kind of degradation on it.
Is there a place that people can learn more about using propane generators to really save their families during emergencies when electricity is not available through the power company, electric company?
Yeah. Remember this website. So propane.com/formyhome. If you're interested, you want to learn more about it, go to that website, learn all about how to get prepared and to give your family a peace of mind.
And do that one more time. Propane?
Propane.com/formyhome.
Gotcha. Our guest has been Matt Blashaw, and we appreciate that. Thanks, Matt. I'm Mark Allen. This is Late Night Health.